I got to call this meeting order. Wednesday, November. I think it started. We have one. United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have 3 items on the agenda. One item is on the executive session later. Item number 3, reading the full minutes. Clark Municipal Utility District, October 15, 2025, regular board meeting minutes. State of Texas County Fort Clark Municipal Utility District. The Board of Directors of said district convened a regular board meeting at Fort Clark Municipal Utility District Boardroom at 9 a.m. on October 15th pursuant to notice duly given in accordance with section 49.063 of the Texas Water Code and Open Meeting Act, Chapter 551, Texas Government Code. President started call the meeting to order at 9 a.m. The following members were in attendance in person and constituted quorum. Felix Serna, President, Barbara Egelrod, Secretary, I'm the Senior Treasurer, Travis Hewitt, Director at Large. Vice President Steve Crosby was not in attendance. No guests were present, and Director Egelrod led the Pledge of Allegiance. Director Egelrod read the minutes for September 17, 2025, regular board meeting. Director Egelrod moved to approve as read with word correction, and the second motion was carried out by Director Serna, Director Senior, and Director Hewitt abstained. The motion passed with a 2 in favor and 2 abstentions. Manager Castillo reported well levels at 8 feet 4 inches static and 12 feet 6 inches pumping. The leakage rate was 44%. Uvalde will be hosting Texas Water Utility Association meeting tonight. Discussion on youth education program only, no action taken. Discussion on rate study only, no action taken. Investment Officer Roxanne presented the 2025 third quarter investment report. CD number 3 listed on the report will mature on 10/22/25, and will speak to Melinda at the Bank and Trust to review interest rates and terms. Director Senior moved to approve as presented, and second motion is carried. Director Egelrod carried. Account Roxanne presented the September 2025 financial report, which included the general fund and debt service lines. The report provided a comparison to January, September 2025 financials and what is called for the month and year to date. The monthly bills and checks were approval and signature. Director Egelrod moved to approve as presented, in the second motion was carried out by Director Senior. Accountant Roxanne presented the proposed 2025 third quarter budget amendment with an Excel spreadsheet. The proposed general fund budget was reviewed and explained in detail about the necessary changes to the budget, and it remains at $657,000 for the year. Director Hewitt moved to approve as presented. The second motion was carried by Director Egelrod, carried unanimously. Director Hewitt requested to add the road maintenance agreement in the executive session on next meeting's agenda. Office will be closed October 13th, November 11th, 27th, and 28th for the holidays. The next board meeting will be held on November 19th. This completed the business meeting, adjourned at 10:31 a.m. by Director Senior, and the second motion carried by Director Egelrod, carried unanimously. Minutes approved and certified to be through and to correctly reflect the acts duly constituted by members and officers of the board of directors.
I'll make a motion.
Any additions or deletions, corrections? Okay, anything? Motion to accept the minutes as presented. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second. All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you. Item number 4, the general manager's report.
Yeah, I really don't have much. Well levels are about the same. Static level 7.9, pumping level 12.2. Leak rate for the month is 43%. The TWA meeting was moved a week ahead because a lot of people had plans to move it. The TWA meeting was held last Wednesday in Carrizo. There is no TWA in December. And just FYI, we will be hosting August TWA meeting here again and at Service Club again.
Overall, how are we doing? Good.
They're hanging on. It actually came up, I think, about 4 inches.
You know, you hear all the different places that having trouble with
Yeah. Yeah, ours are holding on.
anything else for Monday?
Thank you.
Thank you. Item five, present joint items request for proposal to fund. Item five and six, executive session. So if you notice on the agenda, when we come back from executive session, we will respond to item five.
And a copy of it should be in everybody's packet. I don't know if everybody's had a chance to review it. But
Okay. So we will now go into executive session, it's 9:05.
I see he's already brought us back in.
Oh, what time?
10:25.
I'll go get my notepad, sorry.
Okay, get back. Open session. Item number 6. We had discussion of a certain issue related to the agreement by and between Fort Clark Springs Association and Fort Clark Municipal Utility District concerning the operations and maintenance of streets, highways, roads situated within units 130 to 38. Fort Clark Springs subdivision, King County, Texas, and legal issues related thereto, including discussion of proposed resolution of the issue. And that's it.
But, and our recommendation is to pursue legal guidance regarding the best path to take to enforce the maintenance agreement. I can repeat that. Okay, recommendation to pursue legal guidance regarding the best path to take to enforce the maintenance agreement. For Park Springs.
Motion, was that second?
So we're on number 7 now.
We're on seven.
Seven.
So that is the motion.
I will, it was what we discussed in our recommendation.
So I was gonna, so are you considering that the summary and then we need a motion?
Yes.
Okay. I'll make the motion to pursue, the decision of the board to ask for legal, to seek legal guidance, on path to enforcing the agreement with the association.
Go ahead, I'll second.
I have the motion and a second. All those in favor? Okay, unanimous. Second.
You made the motion, Travis. Tanya seconded.
I made the motion.
Okay, got you.
And BJ gave the summary.
Got you.
Yeah.
You guys like a meeting with the full board to discuss this? Let's finish this meeting and we'll go from there.
The second item that we had was to discuss certain issues related to the grant writer request for proposal requirement.
Okay, and we had, we recommend postponement A discussion on the grant writer and proposed requirements and related litigation.
So moved.
You move. Okay. You repeat that, you move to what?
Well, I just found the recommendation. Well, I move that we postpone the discussion on the grant writer requirements.
Okay, motion to postpone.
Yes.
Do I have a second? Do I have a second? All in favor?
You second that one too, Director Huey?
He did.
Perfect.
Item number 8. Consideration and take possible action regarding resolution expressing support for the Smithsonian Institute Museum on Main Street as a community partner in.
It should be in your packet. From what I gathered, they just want our support to support the function. Ms. McNew's not able to make meeting, but it is in your packet. And from what I gather, they're not asking for any funds or stuff like that. They're just asking for support.
What form of support, was anything?
I don't know all
Other
the-
than just, was it endorsed like a posting or is it asking for some kind of?
Do you want to table it until she can come?
No,
Did you read the
it's
resolution?
happening.
On its.
I can starting on November
did.
21st. Oh, it's next year. Okay, fine.
Exactly.
And I missed it. I was just looking at the email.
Yeah, it's
Draft.
just this resolution. She was unable to be here, but she did say that, trying to see it.
I'm co-chairing this along with Chipper again. So obviously I'll be saying that if I can ask any question, or I can answer any questions. This is just, and we ask the city for the same support. We're not asking for money, we're not asking for anything other than saying, we know this is coming to our district. It most likely will be held in the district, so there will be increased people in the district. That's.
So you just want support from the board to.
Yeah.
I also think this is a great idea.
No,
Do we need to read the resolution?
Unless you just want.
I don't think so. I didn't.
Everybody should have had time.
We
Yeah.
received it. I don't mind reading it. No.
Do we read it?
I mean, I don't mind. I'm ready to.
Motion when you want it, when you call for them, we do need to make a
motion and second it.
That we won't support. We need to take action.
Okay, I need that motion to accept.
Well, let me see, I move that we, accept the resolution or support the resolution in the Smithsonian Institute Museum partnership that's coming our way. I can support that resolution. I'm not sorry.
Motion and second. Read the resolution. All those in favor? No objection?
Yeah.
Motion passes.
Okay.
No extension.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
I think it's really cool.
Item number 9, consideration and take possible action regarding engagement letter with Coleman Partner and Company, LLP, certified public accountants for performing the annual financial audit for fiscal year ending December 31st, 2025.
I mean, so we included the email in the packet, and then of course the engagement letter. I mean, nothing has changed other than they did increase the fee $1,000. Yeah.
Everything's going up, so.
Everything's going up. Last year was 4,000. Wasn't it? 4,000.
I believe so. And she did note that I don't believe she'll be coming. It'll be Dusty, her partner. He's a partner with the firm. He's been there 2 years.
We worked with Dusty
Yeah.
before.
Like you said, the only thing changed is if they went up $1,000 because of.
Lost of living.
Have we ever entertained going into a longer term agreement to keep that price? Where we would know what it's going to be.
She sends us the engagement letter every year for us to approve to be
For that.
audit for that year, yes. And then we'll get obviously we'll get the questionnaire too that follows up once we agree to be audited.
Yeah, we used to go year by year at UMC, and then we didn't change firms. We just went to a multi-year agreement.
We think I'm strong.
How long
Yeah.
was it? 5 years?
The first, so I think we did. I think it was 3, and then we landed on 5. Is what we had proposed, and that was after going back and talking with different entities and getting bids. We ended up going with the original person that we had, but I think we ended up on a 5-year audit.
But then you're locked in on that rate.
Mhm.
I would
We could, honestly, for next year.
Any other discussion? Is there a motion on number 9?
I would like to make a motion that we accept the engagement letter, but with provision that we possibly pursue a longer, what would you call it?
Longer term.
Longer term. Is that appropriate to bring it up as part of our motion?
We can always ask the question, but that way we have something done and we're off to the races on our audit for this year. We can ask for an additional, we can extend the term, but we want to go ahead and approve this.
Right. I make a motion for you. For the,
A second?
Give it to Crosby.
Crosby.
All those in favor?
Okay, I'm sorry, who approved it?
Eckenrod, Crosby.
Right.
Consideration and take possible action regarding full-time employees extra pay.
That's all.
What that is our holiday, that's our holiday pay. And every year when you approve the budget, you've already approved our holiday pay. So it's already in the budget. So all our auditor requires is that we get a motion to release the funds.
We don't have an amount here. What is the amount?
It's a 40-hour,
One week's pay.
40-hour pay for employee, for a full-time employee. And the auditor asked that it's worded as extra
Instead
pay,
of bonus.
not the-
Yeah, she doesn't like the word bonus.
extra pay. I move,
Any questions?
I make a motion to approve the full-time employee extra pay. I'll second.
There's a motion and second.
Thank you.
Any in favor? Unanimous. Thank you.
I just had to buy a transmission for my wife's Yukon.
Item 11%, discuss approved financial report, monthly bill. 125, signed check.
Yes.
Here's the engagement audit. It does request signature from Andrew, and then of course there's got to be a signature, which is yours. Right here.
Did we skip number 5?
Is that what we tabled?
Well, we tabled legal counsel,
Okay. And then-
but we still need to discuss it.
What are you talking about?
let's see.
Number 5, he's saying,
Just as far as the presentation is concerned, I mean, to me.
Well, I mean, if there's any discussion of this,
Because we did postpone the discussion of the proposal and requirements related legal issues.
which is the number 2 under 6.
Right.
You've already postponed that, right?
That's what I wrote. I wrote, Sini and Huey proposed to made a proposal to postpone it.
Item 6.2,
Item 6.2.
right, not item 5.
It's kind of the same thing. But we can go back and say.
No, I mean, I thought that there were questions around, what that was or how it was presented.
elaborating to the statute.
He wants to go to line item 5, because that was, yeah.
I thought we already discussed that.
In executive, we need
That's okay.
to come back.
You can back on 95?
No, we can move on.
We postponed it, but I think it is gonna need to be addressed. Come back, I don't know how that works.
Well,
If we were gonna do it at next session or what.
the original intent was to provide the information for us to discuss as a board. Then to decide, do we want to move forward, what we want to do if we were to move forward. What I thought we were postponing was where we jumped ahead and then had legal counsel. We're not ready for that, but we haven't discussed what we would like to do, if anything, with the requirements or the start of requirements.
Just to throw it out.
So we're
there,
just
if we
gonna-
want to make adjustments.
So, I mean, if we push it, we're gonna have a conversation next month about it, now we're a month down the road.
But if we postpone, you can discuss later.
Well, I see what you're saying too, but actually, when you make a make a recommendation or you move that you do something and second, then you're open for discussion on it anyway, during the process. I don't. Whatever y'all want.
You know, whatever you want to do, you know,
If I would like to hear it,
it's about-
what he has to say.
To present you.
Okay. All right, fine. Okay, you're on.
So after our last discussion about grant writers and what was possible with them, I went and so the reason that I brought this up and put it on the agenda, I have a very healthy fear of us stubbing our toe when it comes to getting grant funding. When I went to the TCEQ conference and heard about all of the different steps to get into your grant funding, if you do something on the very front end and you don't have a request for proposal put together, you can actually disqualify yourself all the way down the line, all the way back to, it's basically like you poison the well, right from the very beginning. So that's why I wanted to start the process of saying, if we were going to look for grant writers, we mentioned a couple of different avenues to look for them in the last meeting. How would we communicate to them what we are looking for? What services are we asking? And then when we tell them what we're looking for, they need to come back to us and give us a proposal, Felix, much like you mentioned, of what can they do for us? What is it that they are able to contract with us for to meet the goals that we have put out for them? And so this is a rough draft of things that I would think that we would want in a proposal for people to submit back to us. The $30,000 line comes from what the city used when they did the same process.
You know,
All of it's
this is fine, but we have not really even advertised the grant writers yet. And I see your point that we need to be prepared. We had a consensus that we need a grant writer, but we have not officially advertised for a grant writer.
But we couldn't advertise for a grant writer until we have decided what we would be asking for them to do.
What we're looking at.
What is our scope?
Our
Like,
goal.
what is our goal for this? And so this is just to progress the conversation around what would the scope of said grant writer be, and that's what this document. And then my thought or my suggestion would be that once we get this into a form that is the scope that we want, we would push it forward to the attorney to say, can you put together a formal RFP with all of these stipulations, and then we advertise for a grant writer to grant consultancy, grant writer, group, whatever, to submit back to us what their services they can provide based on the scope that we have provided to them. That's the,
It's like making a blueprint of
Yeah.
a house before you even fill it out.
That's what I mean. Alright, so request for proposal is basically saying we're putting this out there. If you're interested and can do this, then you would need to apply or
submit.
submit. My question and where I'd like more discussion as a board is on scope and services. I don't know if that's today. I think, but because you're just presenting for us to look at, but I would suggest as a board, we go back and really think through what do we want our scope and of services to be.
And that might be in,
That's
a
something.
special meeting or something
I
like
think
that.
so, because when we put it out for proposal, then we're also saying this is what MUD is endeavoring to pursue. And so we then kind of are expanding in a way depending on what we put as our scope. So I'd like to see us have a discussion a little more about that, what our scope is going to be. This is a good format, though, a good starting place, Travis. So thank you for doing that. But that's maybe the next discussion.
Or in a workshop, using a workshop is appropriate.
I don't know. Whatever y'all.
I'm fine with the
I'm
workshop.
fine with that, but I do think we need to collectively put it together. This is a good place to start.
I think that probably a good progression would be, we talked about it now, we understand kind of the process we're trying to get through, right? December, we can come back and have more time to read through this through the lens that was just given, knowing what the next steps are. And then we decide, okay, because let's just say, for example, the scope. Let's say that you are sitting at your kitchen table and all of a sudden the perfect words come to your mind, you jot them down. And you come back in the next meeting and say, this is what I think we should do. And we're all like, yeah, that's exactly what we're trying to do. Okay, great. Then we don't need a workshop. Right. But let's take a month to look at this, see if there's any just outright things that we need to, whoa, this is not what we're doing. And then maybe it's in the right form, maybe it's not. We take that next step, or we kind of sidestep and do a workshop to suss more of it out, and then we take that next step. And hoping to do that somewhere in the January, February timeframe.
Yeah, because remember, we can't do anything on this year's budget anyway. So
Right.
we're looking at
Yeah,
what we have time.
yeah, but we have time, but also, this kind of, thinking is not the best during, everyone's gonna be doing family stuff and all that. So let's step into it, but we have a basis to begin the conversation.
Now, you said we were looking at the contract terms. You kind of gathered that from the city. Is that what you,
So when,
where they started?
yeah, the county had one contract with them, and then somehow they actually started totally on this number. Everything was coming off a percentage of this. And then for whatever reason, that wasn't working. I don't know why they changed, but the county entered into a contract, brought them in as an employee, and then they entered into a contract with the city, and so now they provide services for both. And that's just where I grabbed that number from. And I think it was like 20 hours a week or something that they're dedicated to the city stuff.
Oh, we got to, again, that we have to start thinking through it. So I appreciate that.
And I don't know, and just in this single, that whole budget would have been covered by this single grant. So, we kind of need to think about more of our eligibility and like what that looks like. Do we think, that our grant sizes are going to be in the $200,000, or $700 million? Like, what is it? This one just happened to be 765,000, 41,000 for administration, and $15,000 match from the city. That's a home run. They're not all like this.
So that would replace, or how does that play into the 30,000?
That covers the 30,000. So this
Is that
administration,
all but it covers it and then some?
and then some. Like let's say that they went to Austin for a workshop and travel. that would also fall into administration of that. But that's why this scope is so important, because these funds cannot cover that unless their scope is for this. So they all play back and forth together as to, okay, great, we have this 41. Well, we actually don't have anyone on staff that we can pay, use to pay that 41 too. So it's like we got to get this part right in order to then step into that. And that's where the attorney.
This is, okay. So, I don't have any other questions.
No, it was just a
So,
discussion.
yes.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, this discussion,
The presentation.
we'll think on it and revisit next month.
It could be on the agenda for next month.
That's okay.
I
Yeah,
think
that's fine.
so.
That's fine. See if anybody has any.
Here's the last item. Present, discuss, approve financial report, monthly bills, or October, and sign check.
Okay, let's go to financials and then go to cash disbursements for October 2025. So the report is printed out that shows October 2025 and October 2024, just to compare the two. The out of the ordinary expenses or vendors that we don't normally use would be metropolitan compounds. That is for sewer chemicals, and that amount is $2,048.75. MK Builders, $1,000. That was the repair of the fence right outside here at the front of the office. Texas Underground, those are nozzles for the jet machine, and that was a total of $582.50. There is a large expense. It's TML. That's our yearly insurance. It's $18,335.40. So the total for October 2025 cash disbursements, it's $42,490.91, as opposed to last year we're at $43,095.38. The difference is $596.47. Do y'all have any questions on this cash disbursement report? Let's see if we have questions on it. Okay. We can move on to the next report, profit and loss, October 2025. Total income, $52,875.05. Water sold for the month, 8.1 million. Expenses for the month, $51,992.51, with a net income of $882.54. I just want to go back to income just to compare from last year. It does show it on this report, October 2024 as well. Under line item income 5381 domestic waste disposal fee. This year we only brought in for October 3,000. Last year at this time we brought in $12,400. So that's a significant difference. Expenses under line item 6144 repairs and maintenance water. It does show negative $1,883.36. The actual total is $3,425.03. It does show that because of the North Star check of $4,572.74 that was posted on October 7th. So it's just the difference between the two. Line item 6242, chemicals, that's the Metropolitan compound chemicals that the guys did purchase, which is the 2400. 6326 permit fees, that is the TCQ yearly water quality fee that we pay, and that's $3,864.91. Again, it's line item 6335, maintenance and repair office, that is the MK Builders, they did repair the fence for $1,000. 6353, insurance and surety bond payment, that is the TML payment, the yearly payment, it's $18,355.40. That covers everything, from buildings to our vehicles, everything that's going by money. 6359 other expense, it does show negative 2667. That is the American Express cashback that we received for the month. 6361 computer software, about $1,162.85, and that includes monthly Google, our website, PayClicks, which is our third-party payment system that our customers use to pay their bill, and then of course the annual Intuit renewal. 6364, it should say 1900, and 6365, that should also be 600. That is every month. It should be included. It just wasn't entered in QuickBooks when the report was already done. So that is, it should be 1900 for 6364 and 6365, 600. And again, the total expense is $51,992.51 with a net income of $882.54. Last year, we were at a net income of $1,814.43. So that's profit and loss report. Now onto your profit and loss budget versus actual January to October of 2025. Total water sold 71.2 million. Total income $490,476.13. We are at 75.9%. We should be about 83%. So we are a little under that. It doesn't show the comparison from last year, but I did write down. So just to go over last year, just briefly, income line item 4100, we were at 260,000, and that's for water. This year we're at 254,000. Reconnect fee this year 2300. Last year we're at 3,500. Line item 5300. Last year we're at 2200. This year 2100. Domestic waste disposal. Last year we were already at 54,000. This year we're at 31,000. So we're getting to what we did budget for the year, which is the 40,000. That's why we keep it low every year. Under expense line items, just to go over that briefly, line item 6145, which is meter box expense. We were at 4,300 last year. This year we're at 2,800. 6159 other expense maintenance, 1,300 last year as opposed to this year, $1,079. Chemical sewer, 6242 line item. Last year we were at 5,900. This year we're at 4,200. Purchase sewer service line item 6250. That is, this is to pay out the city of Rockville, the bond that we pay twice a year. Last year we were at 32,000. This year 31,000. Retirement fund, we were already at 9,000 last year. This year we're close to 9,000, 8,900. 6313 health insurance allowance. Last year 16,500. This year 15,750. Election expense. Last year, $3,050, and then of course we won't have an election until next year, so that will be in the budget for next year. 6327 TCQ regulatory assessment fees. We were at 2,700 last year. This year we paid out 2,500, and we're done for the year on that line item. 6338 legal notice and other publications. We were at almost 900 last year. This year we're at 307. And then of course go down 6340 printing and office supplies, 5,300 last year. This year 3,300. Repair and maintenance material. That is to fix. Once the guys are done fixing leaks, if they tear anything up, then they use material to patch it back up. And we're at 3,100 last year. This year is 1,700. Postage $4,302 last year. This year 3,700. Utilities last year 33,000. This year 29,000. TML insurance and surety bond payment 18,007. Last year 18,007. This year 18,355. Travel and per diem were last year 1,800, this year so far 1,300. And just speaking of traveling for them, myself and Anna will be going to the election law seminar next month. So our checks for traveling for them are in here with the travel voucher to show. Yes, and it's not in the budget yet because it's paid out in November, but the checks are in here. Yes. 6359 other expense last year we were at 5,800. This year 3,800. And again for line item 6364 1996 revenue bond, that is a every monthly transfer, so that should be at 19,000. It does show here 17,000 because again it wasn't entered yet. 6365 M&O collection expense, that should be at 6,000. Capital outlay last year we were at 40,000. This year we're at 2,700. Total expense. 27,000. Yes, 27,000. Total expense for this year $519,758.33, with a net loss of $21,282.20. Last year we were at a net loss of $2,921.21. Again, myself and Randy, we've already told the guys we're done with purchasing unnecessary items for the year, unless we have, I don't want to say it out loud because we don't want anything crazy to happen. But we're done with spending. We have to. Balance sheet. That just shows, of course, assets, liabilities. But I'm going to go to profit and loss. October 2025. So what we brought in so far from the appraisal district or collected, what they've collected, January through October, $60,939.34. For the month of October, it's been $2,500. We did start getting bigger checks already because the property taxes have already been rolled out. We've already property taxes. Expenses, tax assessor fee. So far, we paid the appraisal district $8,379.81. Bond interest expense, $31,515. Big charge is $133.46. Bond principal we paid out is $182,000. So total expenses for debt service is $222,020. And then one more thing, I know that we discussed last month about the CD. I did go and speak with Melinda, and for that interest rate CD, it was at 4.25%. Again, matured on October 22nd, and the best that we could do was 3% for 11 months, and that'll bring us $647.73. I just wanted to let you know.
So on the balance sheet, it looks like we've got reserve accounts with a balance of $127,000 and a CD with approximately $87,000 in it. So do we have, how many days of operating is that, or how many months can we go operating with no income? That's our reserve. So I think our expenditures were 58.
You're on general fund? Or
No, balance sheet.
or the general fund?
I believe so.
Balance sheet, that service.
As of October 31st.
Yeah, the general. Okay, what are you asking?
So your reserve account
Mm-hmm.
and the certificate of deposit. So just call that approximately $200,000.
Mm-hmm.
So is the way that this fund is set up, because if we're saying that our expenses are about $52,000, so we have 4 months of reserve.
So the reason why it's set up the reserve is it's more of like a savings account. And one of the CDs is paid out to that reserve, because on here where it shows certificate of deposit 86. I believe there's two CDs that equal that 86,000. But you're asking how much, how many months we can go.
Like our reserve, like, so when we are looking, like this is gonna be something that comes up down the road, and we're looking at what do we need our rates to be, what do our property taxes need to be? One of the questions is always going to be, what do you have, like, what is your runway for reserves? And so we can start looking at this number in reserves as to what is our runway for that. Like, do we have 4 months of reserves? Do we have 6 months of reserves? And like, per a municipality, when you get beyond 6 months of reserves, it's kind of too much, right? I mean, but 1 month is like nowhere near enough. But like 6 months is like you should be doing something else, like, or maybe you're collecting too much or whatever. But if we could just start tracking that number as to what that's compared to, like the monthly, so how many months does that give us? Right now, it looks just quick math. It looks like it's about 4 months of reserve, which is great.
Yeah, like you're saying, if we don't get any income, how much would our savings? Yeah,
It allows
Yeah.
for that.
for sure. That's all we got.
Questions? Motion for
October 2025.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion. We have-
Yes.
Now there's not to inform you.
Yes.
Pay bills.
Check next. Oh.
I have something to say under the discussion. Just nothing. I don't know if you're ready to go through that or not. You want to sign a check? I have something I just want to throw out other than discussion. But we can do that later. Okay, we're done. Sometimes we have guests come in and possibly they have something that they want to say. And right now, our open for discussion or for discussion is at the end of the meeting. I think that they should be able for public comments before we read the minutes. So line item 3, I'm just making that recommendation, do something that, to fill out a form that they have comments and of course they're limited in 2 to 3 minutes, but to give them an opportunity and to address a line item that's on the agenda. And then our comments can be later, as it is right now, open for discussion or other discussion, but I think the public should be allowed public comments. If I agree. I don't know if that needs motion or what.
Well, no, he's, as the chairman, he sets the agenda, so you're making a recommendation and.
I just think it's something because I know in the past, it's just been kind of a random thing. But I believe that we need a paper, a document, who wants to speak. And they're given the opportunity to speak. Of course, it's limited in time, 2 to 3 minutes. But it's addressing something that they want to talk about, like if someone had wanted to come in and discuss the road issue or something like that, they would have that opportunity to speak. Comments before the after the pledge, well, whenever, but before we get into the rest of the
And
meeting.
then you're recommending that you keep other for discussion.
For us, the other for
So
discussion is
the other line item would be public comment.
Public comment is line item 3 or 4, whatever, and then the discussion item would be us. Because we don't talk during the public comments. They talk. And yeah, I just think it's something that needs to happen because right now they've kind of just put it in there and just kind of let people talk at random times, but I think it needs to be designated.
Good idea. Thank you.
I have something as well. Do y'all want to put cost of living adjustment for executive session for next month?
Yes. I talk too fast. Well, we need that and your evaluation.
Yes, ma'am.
If that's gonna be under. So our next meeting is December 17th.
You're done.
Sure, that's something. That's on your way. There you go. There's more. Relays
Yeah.
under there.
Yeah.
There's the whole stack up.
All of those.
Fine. Anything else come forward?
I don't think there's anyone else have any other comments.
Motion to adjourn?
Make the motion to adjourn.
Motion. Mr. Crosby,
And
second
what
that one?
Mr. Crosby seconded 11:16.
Your vision of red, I'm a streak of green, and I'm going to move through you.
Run.